Hi guys, this is ErnieJ and here we are. We're going to be cooking some savory donuts. Now, it'll be really fun to do something different and add a little bit of savory twist. And the exciting thing is we are going to be baking them in my oven. We're not going to be worrying about any hot oil. So first, what was very important, we have all of our mise en place ready to go. So we have our flour and we have our sugar. And we are going to put our flour and sugar together. We're going to do all of our dry ingredients first. So we have 250 grams of flour and only 40 grams of sugar. And I'm going to add just about a tablespoon there of baking powder. We don't want to add too much sugar. Because if too much sugar goes in there, it's going to turn all the way over into the sweet side, and that's definitely not what we want. So we're going to add just a little bit of salt because you can't bake without salt. Salt is that secret ingredient that just fixes everything. A little bit more of that nice savory twist. We're going to put our ground pepper in there. And one of my favorite spices and plants to grow in the summertime, rosemary. A nice mix in there. And then one of the nice things I've added to this as well is going to be green onions and Parmesan cheese. Parmesan cheese, we are going to add near the end as well as our green onions. So let's just make sure we get that nice and mixed up there, all of our dry ingredients. You can add just as much rosemary as you like. Don't go too overboard, but a tablespoon or two is nice. I did about 2 stalks of green onions and half a cup of Parmesan cheese. So we have that all going. Next we're going to mix all of our wet ingredients together. Nice thing having everything all close by in my kitchen. Nice little island. So I like to use almond milk or coconut milk, different kinds of milk instead of the straight up dairy. So I added about 100 milliliters of almond milk. I just add a nice little different flavor, texture, gets a lot more balance in there. Sometimes I do straight dairy free recipes, but today I am adding sour cream. You can't go wrong with sour cream and green onions. Great chip flavor, great flavor to put on baked potato. So why not put it into our donut? So we have that all ready to go. We're going to crack 1 egg. Put our scale off to the side since we are done weighing everything. And most recipes out there are using the US grade or just in different measurements. And I like to weigh everything. Weighing everything, you get such more accuracy. And it's nice to finally have someone out there who's trying to do that, because when I go researching for recipes, it's so challenging to go, what's a cup of flour? Is it your cup of flour, my cup of flour? Because your cup of tea, my cup of tea ain't the same thing. So why would your flour be the same as my flour? So it's nice to weigh everything. It's not as much when you're doing just cooking on the stove top, but definitely for baking. So we cracked 1 egg in there. Get that nice and mixed through. Alright. Now, in our wet ingredients, now where we're going to be adding the Parmesan cheese. Such a great cheese. Green onions. It's starting to smell so good already, and it's not even baked. Alright, let's mix that nicely together. Now, on occasion, you can wind up with maybe a little too much liquid, and an easy resolution to that is just to add a little bit of flour, tablespoon by tablespoon. So we are going to get our dry ingredients down in there, and we are going to make a nice well in the center. So we are going to add all of our liquid right in the middle there. Okay, so let's just pour that in there. It's like making just a simple batter, you know. I'm going to mix that in. Now we can't have the batter too dry. Or it's going to be too much like a bread. We definitely want to make sure all the flour gets wet in there. Alright. Mix that in nicely. to leave any flour undone or covered. If you don't get the flour wet enough, it's not going to bake, and you're going to end up with just pieces of flour particles in your finished product. And that's definitely not the way we want to go. Okay. Got a nice consistency here. It's a little bit thick. It's not too bad. I am going to add just a smidge more of my almond milk. I usually end up with the opposite side, where we end up being too wet. But hey, there's not a lot of leeway you can get with baking, but as long as you don't over whip everything at that end and develop too much of the gluten, we can definitely fix some of the issues there. Okay, I'm liking that a little bit more. Here's a little bit of give to it. That way, when we put it in, it's going to rise nicely. So now, we're going to get our baking pan for our donuts. This is a great handy tool to have. A lot easier than having to worry about hot oils on the stovetop, especially splashing around. It hurts a lot when that can splash. Sometimes it splashes right onto my face, and that's just... no need oil splashing up on your body. Okay, so we are now going to evenly scoop out into each of our little donut pans here. And this should bake for about 10 to 15 minutes, depending on your ovens. It's not going to go too much of a color with the sour cream in there. It'll probably stay pretty white, so you're going to have to be careful. Make sure you're not waiting for it to go too dark, because probably by that time it will end up being way too dark, just like my cabinets in the back here, and it'll be overcooked. Alright, so it looks like we're just about finished here. We've had our donuts in here for 15 minutes. I checked it at the 12-minute mark, and I wasn't quite happy with the product. It just needed a couple more minutes to cook. So, we're going to take that out of the oven. Be careful. Put that off. We're going to shut off our oven. Now you're going to want to let that just sit on the top there and cool for about 5 to 10 minutes, and then we can place it on our racks to finish off cooling. If we take it out too soon, it might end up being too hot, and we can break or damage the product. I'm sure they're going to wow and impress everybody. So, now that they've cooled down, let's see how they taste. So good. Definitely worth the wait. Well, thank you so much for watching. Bye! And I'll stay tuned for more videos soon to come. Bye now.